Okay, so welcome to our call here. So our guest speaker is Chelsea Rodriguez. Those of you that don't know Chelsea, well, you must be living under a rock because Chelsea is awesome. She's been around this business for a long time, and she sold over $1 million. Was that last year? Last year,
Last year.
yeah, which is awesome. So shipping over $1 million in a year, definitely a hard thing to do. Not many people have done it, but Chelsea has, which is awesome. Chelsea's over $6.5 million in crew sales. Best week is $69,093. Best day is 36 grand. Were those in the same week, or the day and the week? Were they in the same week?
They were.
Awesome. And then proudest Cutco achievement, sold $1 million in 1 year, which was last year. Education, University of Alabama. Question: do you think I'm assuming you think they deserve to be in the playoffs, right?
I think a lot of teams deserve to be in the playoffs, not just us.
Yeah.
There. I said it. And I think no matter who got booted, it was going to hurt feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that there were a lot of ways it could have gone.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, really, they should have just put all six in and figured it out. But
Yep.
I know that's tough to do. But yeah, the University of Alabama family. All of my extended family of rednecks live within 6 miles of each other in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So yes, homegrown Alabama. How many do you have like a huge family in Alabama?
I'm one of four. I have four I have three nephews and one niece, and Roger and I are having the fifth grandchild in that side of the family. And then I just have one cousin, pretty small, honestly. We had 17 at Thanksgiving. Is that big?
It feels big to me, but I'm one of four as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's yeah.
I feel like that's pretty small when you compare it to Roger's 37 cousins.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. If you're comparing it to that, that's
So,
a huge family. And then
yeah.
fun fact, Chelsea is pregnant. For those of you that don't know, I found out at the retreat in Texas, which is super exciting. But super exciting. How many weeks are you, Chelsea, now?
I am 24 weeks. I will be 25 weeks this Saturday. And
Okay.
for those that don't know what that means, it means I'm in the 6th month.
Yep. Yeah. Time is flying. Is it going fast for you too, or is it?
It's flying. We haven't started our nursery yet. I have one pack of diapers so far.
Okay. Awesome.
So we got a lot to do. Roger and I are finishing this year strong, both of us, and I have a honey-do list already long. So
Awesome. And
yeah.
then last thing, hobbies. Chelsea likes to travel, church on Sundays, wine Wednesdays, just to balance herself out as well. So Chelsea is here to talk about upgrades, ultimate upgrades. So for those of you that don't know, Chelsea is definitely one of the best people in this company on how to sell ultimate upgrades. I know a lot of this stuff that I've learned about ultimate upgrades have come from talks from Chelsea, whether it be at the State Fair Texas retreat or anywhere else. So definitely take really good notes. But Chelsea, go ahead and take it away.
Dude, that's awesome, Nick. Thank you. I had no idea that y'all didn't have a single female on your team. I'm like, what's going on up there? Like, no wonder y'all sell so much. Like, I knew our company was dominated by dudes, but like, y'all need some feminine flair up there.
We've got
Like,
a couple. Tara's on her team too. She wasn't able to make it because she's at an event, but
okay.
yeah, we do have a few. They're just didn't make the call today. So
Understood. All right. Just making sure, because that's a lot of testosterone. Anyway, girls are cool. I like girls, and well, not like that. Anyway, okay. So as he said, my name's Chelsea. Are we drinking on this call? Is that what's happening, Nick? Oh, okay. I missed the memo.
Just coffee. Just coffee. So
I've mastered the mocktail. So yeah, thank you for all of that. I'm excited to be here. Lucky was trying to get me on y'all's call earlier this year, just with state fair season and all the same things that I know you guys deal with a lot. You have busy seasons and we just couldn't make the dates work. But I think with your mall season and what you guys have got going on, there's no better time than now to make sure we reiterate what I spoke about at the net meeting earlier this year. So just by a show of hands, so I know who my audience is, were you at the net meeting 2023? Were you there? Okay, so most of you were there, maybe a couple weren't. I'm going to do like a revamp of that message. I've added some things to it, Nick and Lucky, and what we'll call it is like a review of what I talked about at net, because certain things that are important need to be repeated. But I'm also going to share some 2.0, some stuff at the end that I've come up with over this year that I've only shared once with our local TGP team right before the state fair started. So I'd like to share all of that with you guys. So just as a kind of review about ultimate upgrades, if you're taking notes, and you should, because you could reuse this information and teach it back to your teams or your mentees or whatever. I love speaking in acronyms. So today we're going to talk about Ulti upgrades, and we're going to spell it out as the word Ulti. So ULTI. That almost sounds like a UTI. Thank God there's an L in there. Yeah, those suck for dudes. Y'all need more girls on your team. Okay, so Ulti. By the way, these little blurbs that I just like randomly go off in tangents, if you don't like them, sorry, not sorry. I do this with customers too. My husband even goes, and people on our team are like, see, Chelsea, I can't say that. I can't say that to a customer. The way you just said that, that was so awkward if I had said it. I'm like, well, you just have to say it right. Anyway, U is for understand. You're going to sell more Ulti upgrades. You got to understand. You got to have a full understanding of the ultimate. So you thought U stand for ultimate, didn't you? Nope, does not. Stands for understand. You have to understand the ultimate and the value of having it all. By show of hands, be honest with yourself. Have you ever had a customer literally look at an ultimate and go, oh my God, that's a lot of knives. I would never use that. And it's almost like they sell you on why they don't need or want. It's like a need and want thing in their head of why they don't need it all, right? You have to understand the value of having it all. Upgrades make a set. Sets are better. Why are sets better? Well, because the average knife in our catalog, if everybody took an ultimate and you pieced everything out, you'd spend $125 per knife. On average, that includes table knives, that includes steak knives, that includes paring knives. They are going to spend $120 a knife if they keep buying pieces. Whereas the average knife in a homemaker set is $100. They're going to spend $100 per knife if they keep piecing it together. If they keep walking up to a booth and going, what's new? Oh, I love this little spreader. I'll get one more of those. Oh, cool. Well, let me show you actually how you could get that, ma'am. And then show them the package, like just show it to everyone. You also need to not only understand the ultimate, you need to understand, if you're going to sell more ultimate upgrades, the toolbox analogy. Unless you've been a sleeper, you know what the toolbox analogy is, but just as a review, you should be saying toolbox, or it's like a toolbox, to every customer that you're talking to about potentially showing an upgrade. It's not a big set of knives. It's not a massive block. It's not a situation where you won't use all of this. Miss Jones, it's a situation just like the toolbox in your garage. The reason most people eventually want to have it all is because they like having the right tool when they need it. All this is, Miss Jones, and I know you're looking at it and thinking it's a huge, when they say, I would never use all that, I go, hey, I totally understand. But it's like having a toolbox, right, Miss Jones? Do you have a toolbox in your garage? She goes, yeah. I said, it's better to have that extra screwdriver and not need it than when you need it to not have it. So that's why we have a package that has multiple different choppers in it, multiple different meat knives in it, multiple different, paring knives in it. This is going to give you every tool you'll ever need, just like your toolbox in the garage. So if you guys aren't sharing the toolbox analogy every single time that they are saying, that's too many knives, that's too big, I would never use all that, don't even show me that. Are you just backing down immediately and showing them a Siggy or showing them a homemaker? Or are you sticking to your guns and understanding that the ultimate is the best thing for them and at least referencing the toolbox analogy? Okay. You also need to understand, if you're going to sell more Ulti upgrades, you need to understand, this is the third thing you need to understand, the customer's problems. Because here's the reality. Sales, all it is, folks, is a transfer of enthusiasm. We are sifters. We're sitting there sifting for gold, waiting for cues, listening to things that they say. And the best salespeople in this company, the Curtis J. Hugheses, the Mike Dowoods, the Josh Mullers, I mean, the reason we sell what we sell, okay, sometimes working the same shows and the same shifts as other people standing right by us, is because we have the experience and the knowledge, the understanding. We are ready for what the customer's problem is going to be, and we have the solution. We're just waiting for them to tell us their problem. So I think it's important for us to all find and sift for those problems. So what are their main problems that could pose a need or a want that they could have for an Ulti upgrade? Problem number one, the knives in their homemaker that they brought you to the service event or to the mall. If you're doing sharpenings at your mall, I don't know if your mall allows that. Their knives are dull. When someone has a homemaker, what are the 3 knives that we need to sharpen the most? Trimmer, chef's knife, paring knife. Those are the 3. And it makes sense. They're 3 of our best knives, but you get 1 chopper, 1 paring knife, and 1 utility knife, and an entire 10-piece set of knives. Like, people love choppers, they love paring knives, and they love utility knives that are just like everyday grab pieces. So why would they not want something like an ultimate upgrade that would eliminate the issue of them putting all the workload on that 1 chopper? So one of their problems could be that their knives are dull. One of their problems could be that they're disorganized. How many times have we been at the booth and they said, oh yeah, I have this block. And then one year I got this tiny little block at a thrift store and I just started filling it with knives. But some of the knives are in the drawer and some of the knives are here. And we put that knife, under the cabinet and pull it out when we need it. And I'm like, hey, I'm just curious, Miss Jones, does the disorganization drive you crazy? Would you prefer to have it more organized and have everything at your fingertips in a toolbox in one place? Would you like to have all of it organized and in one easy to grab unit? And they're like, oh my God, that sounds awesome. I'm like, exactly. Other problems the customer might have is they might be buying piece by piece. And you need to explain to them that every time they buy a cheese knife or a new little bird's beak that didn't come in the full set, or a 4-inch paring knife or a mini Santoku, when they buy that one knife, listen, this is not this talk. I will beat a dead horse if you have a conversation with me at an event about average order versus order count. That's not this talk. I am advocate order count over average order any day. But the reality is, if we are selling someone one knife, the only reason we should sell them that one knife is if they've told us that's what they want. I just want this one knife. And we've tried all these other steps. Like, we've tried all of these other steps and they've said no 2 or 3 times. We should not just sell the one knife to sell the one knife and get them out of here and not try. That's the point. So everyone should be trying to get them off the piece by piece strategy, because they're spending a lot more. That's their problem. And you need to explain to them that their problem is they're buying piece by piece and they're way overpaying for Cutco. Not that it's not worth it, but could I show you a better value that would actually get you a lot more bang for your buck? Yeah, show me that. Okay, so show of hands, everybody got understand. My cat just sneezed. It was the cutest thing ever. That was adorable. I'll keep you. Okay, so here she is right here. My assistant. Okay. L, listen. You want to sell more Ulti upgrades? You gotta listen. Yes, we're all smooth talkers. Yes, we can beat a dead horse. Yes, we know our scripts. Yes, we can handle objections. But if you don't go like this long enough to really hear the customer's wants and needs, then you can't lead. So you got to listen so that you can lead them to greener pastures, so that you can lead the horse to the water. You can't force them to drink. That's why you drop down. That's why you offer a deal. That's why you throw in a gadget. But you can lead them to water, and they're going to be a lot more likely to let you lead them down the path of an Ulti upgrade if you actually do listen. So how can you listen? Instead of pitching an upgrade, you just ask deeper questions. So if you're going to dig deeper, you can ask questions like, how long have you had your Cutco? What's your Cutco story? Who and where did you get it from? I love this one. What's your favorite thing about the set that you have? Or what's your favorite thing about the pieces that you have? Get them to fall in love with Cutco all over again by standing in front of you. If it's not a service event, if you don't have their product right there in front of you, do a self inventory. If you've got knives laid out, show of hands, are y'all knife display people or no knife display people? So knife display, you got knives out? Damn it, Josh. Yeah, you should really get on board, bro. If I work an event with you, they're coming over to talk to me, and it's not because I'm cute. It's because I got knives out. Just gonna say it. So if you have knives out, it's really easy. I love to take the display boards and go, so which ones do you have? And they go, I have this one and this one and this one and this one. And I love to like slide the knife up. Like I just like slide the knife up 2 to 3 inches above the rest of them. Like I slide them up outside of the case, because then I can get a visual of what are they missing to either upgrade to a homie or upgrade to a Siggy or upgrade to a ultimate. Because ultimately we are trying to upgrade people to Ulti upgrades, but don't forget that an upgrade is still upgrading someone who had a 5-piece to a homemaker. That's still an upgrade, folks. You get them on an upgrade to a homemaker because you identify the pieces they had. When you see them the next time, it's going to be a shoo-in for you to get an Ulti upgrade because they already know the process. Does that make sense? So don't cheat yourself and just sell Ulti upgrades from 5 pieces. You could sell a Siggy upgrade and that's still an upgrade, and that's great CPO and it's great service to the customer. So make sure you're asking those questions and then getting their feedback and listening to their answers. Identify the pieces. Where are they truly at? Let them tell you. If you skip that step, you're going to sell less upgrades. You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you are. So it is crucial, if you want to sell more upgrades, to listen to your customers, get them to tell you how much they have, what exactly they have, get as close to the correct inventory as you can without them being at home. And then here's a 2.0. Lucky you haven't heard this. Nick, you haven't heard this. Our team in TGP hasn't even heard this, but I added a little note when I was going over my notes last night. Something I've started doing because I cannot stand like crushing my ultimate upgrade approach. And I am like this close. They're about to pull the trigger. They're about to say yes. And they go, you know what? I love it. We're interested. We can afford that. This is the color we want. We want this. I just need to go home and make sure that's what I have. Oh my God, I hate that. I'm like, no, don't go off the cliff. So then I got tired of hearing it a couple of times. So I found an objection handler that works. And just about every time it's closed me an ultimate upgrade. I go, hey, no problem. Yeah, that's actually what most of my customers say that are in your position, because you don't have your knives here and you don't want to buy blind. You want to make sure you're getting the exact pieces you need to supplement what you have. And you can't remember if you have this knife yet or not. So I tell you what would do, because I've got everything in the cart. Are you like 90% sure that everything in this app right here is what you would need to finish your set? And they're like, yeah, I'm like 90% sure. And I'm like, okay, great. Then what we'll do, close it, do your closing, close the order, get the payment info. Say, I go and take your payment info now, but I don't charge you in this second. I trust you. Go home. Could you lay all your knives out for me and send me a picture of all of your knives laid out on the counter, and I'll cross-reference it with this. And when my shift gets done around 7, 8 o'clock, what time do you get home, Betty? She's like, oh, we'll be home by 7. I said, how about I just call you between 7 and 7:30? You take the picture, text it to me. When I get the picture from you, I'll give you a call and we'll make sure we lower your order if you already have that piece, or we'll discount the piece that you're missing that you're unsure of. And they just like relax and they're like, oh, you could do that? I'm like, yeah, I'll just save it as pending. We'll go ahead and collect your payment now, but we won't charge you until after you and I talk in a couple of hours. And then they're just like, oh, thanks. That's like exquisite, amazing service. But collect the payment. Like, go ahead and close it. The picture, tell them how normal that is. The reason they're nervous about buying the upgrade is not usually if they've already thought the process makes sense. It's because they're unsure of what they have. So if that's the objection, just handle it as if, oh, that's what everybody does. Everybody takes a picture, they send it to me. Betty, you have my word, Betty. I will not process this order until I see your inventory. Let's make sure we have it 100% right, because frankly, your price might go down. How does that sound? And she's just like, love that. I'm like, exactly. Send me the picture later. And it works every time. So many upgrades. Love that. Okay, so that's listen. T, the third one. On Ulti upgrades, you want to sell more upgrades? T stands for trifold. Trifold. Honest show of hands. Who uses the Ulti upgrade trifold every time? Okay, you should. You should start. That should become a staple in your business. You got a family brochure program, trifold. You got, or not a trifold, but a brochure. You got a Cutco kitchen brochure, which makes it really easy for you to talk about what comes in a kitchen and what that looks like and how they get choices. We made an ultimate upgrade trifold to make it black and white, very easy for them to understand, because sometimes you listen and you show them the water, you lead the horse to the water, and this horse is an idiot, like absolute idiot, just like turns around, puts his butt to the water, sits in it, and you're just like, you're not listening. They're not listening to me either. So use the darn brochure. That's T. Trifold is use the darn brochure. Customers believe a piece of paper, if it's a laminated, looks pretty, looks organized and professional. We can talk the talk all we want, but the reality is that brochure is designed to be a resource for all of us. So you need to get the ultimate upgrade brochure, and you need to pitch it that way. You know what, Miss Jones, I'm talking too much. Can I just show you what it all comes with? Can I just make it really easy for you? And she's like, yeah. And I go, and I open it up. I said, we actually have a program for people like you. It's perfect for people that have all their pieces thrown everywhere, or they're buying piece by piece and they're spending a ton. What we allow you to do, open this up, is we just get you the shell of a block. So it comes with the color choice of block that you like. You get an extra pair of super shears. Did you say you had the scissors? You do, right? So most people like to get a second pair of scissors. I personally have 4 because I don't like to go to different places in the house and grab them. I have 1 in the garage, 1 in the car, I have 1 in the office, and 1 in the kitchen. That way I have super shears wherever I need them, for outdoor, indoor, office, whatever. So most people want the second pair of scissors. You get to pick the 9 new knives that you don't have yet. These are the ones that we recommend, but it is flexible. Some people kind of customize it to fit their needs and their cooking style. And then lastly, you get 4 more of the big steak knives or 4 more of the little. Question, you have the little steak knives, right? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, so do you like these little guys? Have you seen the new big ones yet? And then you show them both, and then they pick which they like. You can upsell to the bigger steak knives if you want, but you don't have to. The trifold makes it so easy. Like, you can cut out a lot of this psychology and talk that I'm giving you guys just by talking about toolboxes, establishing their problems, listening to them and asking better questions, and then showing the trifold. I mean, most of my upgrades, I truly pitch the concept and the idea in 30 to 60 seconds. Then we spend more time talking about their problems, or we talk about the pricing or the deals. Does that make sense? It really doesn't take that long to pitch it. It's a concept. So just pitch the concept, get it out there to everyone. Lastly, I invite. So after you've used the trifold, all else fails. Frankly speaking, folks, this kind of goes back to, are we being lazy, right? Like, are we just selling the 1 piece or the 3 piece or the 5 piece and just being like, oh, I'm so grateful someone bought today. I'm sorry, but Matt Graves does not show up for his shifts selling 40K weeks, 50K weeks and going, I hope the sales are there today. No, he just shows up and he does his thing and he creates sales. Are you creating sales, or are you waiting for the big fish to come to you? Really ask yourself that. And I've been guilty. Oh my God, there's a girl, or is it a guy? It's probably a guy. She's pretty. Yeah. So anyway, I'm hands down, I've been guilty for that. I've let someone go and I've thought, why didn't I show them flatware? Why did I just take the easy sale, the layup, and then just shoo them off and get them out of here? yes, I'm a pro, like get them on the list fan, but like they're right there in front of you. Like what are the odds and how long is it going to be before they're standing in front of you again? Invite everyone to the upgrade program. Invite everyone. I was at Fort Bliss last week and in a week and a half, in about 10 or 11 days, I did about 45,000. So that was a good event. I loved that. But I just remember this little old lady walking up and she was missing her trimmer. And we went, did the little dance, right? No, it's not that knife. I'm like, it's this knife. She's like, no, it's not that knife. It's white. It's white. And I said, I know it's white, but my sample here is black. This is the knife. This is what you're missing. She goes, that's not it. I pull the white trimmer out of the Ultimate. She goes, that's it. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's the same knife. But anyway, this is the one you're missing, huh? She goes, yeah, I don't know where it went. And I'm like, okay. So I remember her literal intention of coming into the base was she saw that we were there and she goes, I came to replace my knife. I'm so excited. So I replaced the knife. I get the credit card, close the easy sale first. But then I just like kind of asked her. I just said straight up, how old's your stuff? She told me. I asked bigger questions, dig deeper questions, right? How long have you had it? Well, if you've had it at least 15 years, I can guarantee you it needs sharpening. Why don't you bring that back into me and I'll get that touched up for you? She's like, I don't know if I have time. And I said, well, no big deal. It's that old. I can guarantee it needs it. I'll send you a prepaid label if that's the best we can do. By the way, most people in your position that have a 15-year-old knife set, they've lost their favorite knife. The two knives, if you did bring them to me, they're probably the dullest, are your chef's knife and your paring knife. She goes, how did you know? She goes, my chef's knife has been dull. And I said, well, it's just normal. That's the workhorse. You use it all the time and it gets used up. I said, we've actually come out with this new program to help customers like you that years ago bought from the college kid the small basic set. And they thought, oh my God, this is amazing. Forever guaranteed. I'll never buy another set of knives. But what they didn't know, what they absolutely did not know is that's not everything that we sell. And Cutco's kind of like Pokemon. You got to catch them all, you know? So if it's okay with you, could I just show you what's new really fast? And then I pitch the program. She says, yes, I pitched the program. Took her from a trimmer on a yes to an Ulti upgrade. And it was like almost 1,700 CPO. She went with the little table knives, but she was so excited. She was like, I had no idea y'all had all of this stuff. Tell everyone. If you're going to sell more Ulti upgrades, you got to tell everyone. Don't just write up the trimmer and send them on their way. Just don't do it. Also under invite, you need to put AFTO. AFTO, that's like old school vector. Some of you may or may not know what that means. I don't know if I still hear managers talk about it, but AFTO, that's ask for the order. You do have to close it. You can't just show the trifold, listen to their problems, hold hands, sing kumbaya. You actually have to be a salesperson and sell it. You actually have to close it. You have to offer a deal if they give you objection, or offer a solution if they give you an objection. You have to work through what's holding them back. Give them an offer they can't refuse. Here's my pet peeve. My pet peeve is working with people and then letting someone walk away on an ultimate upgrade, giving them their card. Bullshit, they ain't gonna call you. Sorry. Nobody comes back. No one, in my opinion. Some of them do, but they don't exist in this moment. People are people. I know me. If I really want something, I'm going to get it in that moment. So get them to want it. Help them want it. Show them something they can't refuse. Take 100 CPO hit on the order. So the frick what? Close the order. And remember that you have a person in front of you, not just a paycheck. These are human beings. So I will say stuff to people when I invite them to buy an Ulti upgrade. I will say stuff like, Melissa, I'm just curious. Could you level with me? You know, we've been talking, chatting for the last 15, 20 minutes. Do you like this? Well, yeah. Just curious. If you had all the pieces in a set, would you even use them? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, and just shoot me straight. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just, I've been here all day, 10-hour days, 13-hour. Do you know the things I see at the mall? It's crazy. Just shoot me straight. Just tell me what you're thinking here. If you really wanted to surprise your husband with this for Christmas, would XYZ fit in the budget today? Like, if you really wanted to, like, would it make you completely change your lifestyle, not get groceries here, not be able to pay bills there, not be able to pay your car? Like, would it completely change your lifestyle for the next few months if you did something like this? Would that stress you out? And she goes, well, no, not really. We could do it if we needed to. And I'm like, well, you know what I've learned about people, Melissa? I've learned that people are human beings, and so am I. And I know when I go shopping, especially on Black Friday every year with my mom, I love a deal. Sometimes I won't even buy things because they're full price. I'm like, no, I'll wait for it to go on sale. So I tell you what, I'm out here working hard, XYZ, here's my goals, blah, 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 blah. You like it. You said you'd use it if you want it. And if you really wanted to, you could squeeze XYZ in the budget. So straight up, if I just sweeten the deal this much, would you let me help you get it today? So you got her to do 3 yeses to 3 tie down questions. Yes, I like it. Yes, I'd use it. Yes, we could afford it if we really wanted to. Cool. Then what if I went out of my way and just offered you a deal? Because what I know is people love deals, especially this time of the year, because you got a lot of people to buy for. Would you consider it? And then you just squint and you wait. And the silence. And then they go, well, what kind of deal? And then you like give them an option. What would mean more to you? XYZ for free, or a little something extra off the top? Like, I'll dig in my pockets. But I do tell customers this, and I don't know if I shared this with TGP, Nick, but I am upfront with customers about how free stuff and discounts work. I'm very black and white about it. I'm like, hey, Miss Jones, the reality is if I'm going to give you a deal in this moment, that comes from me. It comes out of my pocket, not Cutco's. So it's kind of a big deal for me. This is how I support my family. I want to go out of my way for you, but just so you know, I could do a little off the top, like a discount, or I could load you up with free stuff. Now, which one of those do you think I could get you a better deal on? And then they go, I don't know, discount. And I'm like, no, I get Cutco at a discount because I'm a rep that sells it. So think of it this way, Melissa. My dollar stretches farther, and I can get you way more free Cutco than I can get you money off. And usually if I offer a deal, guys, it's like an extra 5%. It's nothing crazy. It's like a tiny little, like just a little that maybe gets them to $16.90 instead of $17.50, right? Just something to get it to a number that looks better, that like drops down like not even $100, but just enough to make them feel good. But then when you like double or triple the discount and free stuff on an Ulti upgrade, they're just like, oh, well, that's a way better deal. I'm like, exactly. Because it doesn't cost us as much to do free stuff, right? As it does to do a discount. So the 2.0 side of this, and this is the finish, is I would love to see people not only understand Ultimates better, like understand why they need it, why they should want it. I would like to see people listen more, ask better questions. I would like half your people aren't even using the trifold. So I think you guys should use this as a kick in the butt to start using the trifold, and then invite everyone, talk about it to everybody, mention it to everyone, give them the option to drop down. Here's the last point under invite, and this is the 2.0. Stop letting people walk away thinking about an Ulti upgrade, because the reality is you have 5 things that you can pivot to. The Ulti upgrade is just the first one. So you get tons of ejections and they're not going to buy the complete upgrade. So the next thing you drop down to, partial upgrade. They pick their 5 favorite knives and they get 4 more table or 4 more steak, still with a block. Did everybody get that? Partial upgrade. Partial upgrades are a shoe-in. They're going to see all those holes in the block within months, and then they're going to call you and go, I need to finish that for Bob. They're going to want to fill those other 5 holes that they still have. So that's an easy 5-piece in the future over the phone. If they still say no to a partial upgrade, you should upgrade. You should drop down, just like we have a starter set, which is a galley that drops down from a homemaker. You should go to an upgrade starter. That's where they pick their 3 favorite new pieces you showed them, 2 table or 2 steak. So guess what, guys? That's 5 knives. That's a 5-piece plus the block. If you're not selling upgrade starters, you should be selling upgrade starters. If you're skipping that step, you're losing CPO. It's basically a 5-piece with a block. Then you drop down to a 5-piece. And I find a lot of people, Nick, what they do is they go from Ulti upgrade, boom, 5-piece. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, there's other options that you could show them that's like 1,200 CPO, 900 CPO before you get to a 600 CPO 5-piece. They just got to feel good about it. So don't skip an option that they might feel good about. Then you go to a 5-piece. Then if you have to, you go to a buy 3, get 1. And then if you have to, you sell them the 1 knife that they wanted. But at least now you've pre-framed them for an Ulti upgrade. So the next time you see them, it's like, hey, you remember that upgrade we were talking about? Well, the fact that you got those 3 knives last time, it's going to make your upgrade cheaper. Could I show you how much cheaper it is this time? And then they're more ready. So I would just like people to stay in it longer. Brian Carter says, don't be lazy. They say no to the Ulti upgrade. Not everybody's going to say yes to it. A lot of people are going to give you objections. You can handle those objections and still sell them. But then sometimes they give you 3, 4, 5, 6 objections. And you know they're all bullshit. They just can't afford it. So it's like, let me show them a different option. Let me give them a deal. Let me sell an upgrade starter that's $850 CPO versus letting this person walk away on a $1,600 order. I'll take the $850 CPO. You know why? Because I like money. I like money. Are you just letting these people walk or sticking to your guns and actually selling the upgrade? If you can't sell the upgrade, sell a partial upgrade, sell a starter upgrade, get their foot in the door. That's what I tell people. I say, Miss Jones, sounds like today's just not the day. This just isn't right timing. It's not the right budget. Can I just show you one final option that we get your foot in the door for an upgrade in the future when you're ready? And when you're ready, I'm ready. And they go, yeah. And then you show them the foot in the door package of, hey, here's a block, a few pieces to fill it. When you're ready, those holes will be waiting and I will be ready for your call. And then they call and then you sell more knives and then you sell $1 million and you do that like with 8,000 customers and it works. That's what I do. That's my Ulti upgrade / a little 2.0 extra that I didn't talk about at net meeting. And that's all I've got for you guys.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Chelsea. This is a lot of fire. Hope you guys learned a lot too. I know one thing, I know you talked about it, the 2.0, I think you talked about it with the TGP team, but I know the partial and the starter upgrade definitely are huge because, you know, from dropping down from like a full upgrade to a builder and then a 5-piece, it just gives you an extra drop down. So appreciate you sharing that again. It's always a good reminder. My question for you, Chelsea, and then if anyone else has questions, as long as you got time for a few questions, right, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My question is, so for the trifold, do you only show the trifold or do you actually show them each individual knife that's in the upgrade?
I have the knives laid out, homemaker pieces on a board in front of the homemaker,
Yep.
ultimate upgrade pieces on a board in front of the ultimate block, right? And they read my booth left to right, the way they're facing it. So I show them the pieces because I do a knife setup. If you don't do a knife setup, you could utilize the trifold or a Sets for Life brochure would be helpful. So I still show them the pieces that come in it. And I do my board in order of this is a Siggy, this is an Ulti. But we really don't talk about a Siggy unless I have to drop down to that.
Yep.
We go straight for the Ulti upgrade and I show the pieces. Like
Okay.
for real. I bend the salmon knife. I let them feel how heavy the cleaver is. I let them see the difference in the pieces of what they currently own.
So the
question.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess second question that it sounds like you hand them the cleaver and then you bend the salmon knife. Is there any other pieces that you pull out or do you just keep them in the board?
Yeah, I have I think you call it a Focus 5. That's kind of what I called it. Focus 5, veggie knife, boning knife, 4-inch paring knife, the thin slicer, which is the salmon knife, and the hardy slicer. That's my 5 focal pieces, meaning you sell those 5 pieces then they're going to be on board with the concept of an upgrade. The layup pieces, / closing pieces, I call them layups or closing pieces. I always hold them to the end. It's the mini Santoku, the cheese knife, and the cleaver. You use those as closing pieces. I do those last because they're the easier sale and everybody wants them. So if you can get them on board with a big veggie knife, with a hearty slicer, with a raw meat boning, 4-inch paring knife, the need for those pieces, then those are the, in my opinion, harder ones to sell. That's just me.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Does anyone else have a question? Looks like we got some questions. Q, go for it.
Okay, I have two if that's okay. First, how do you position the price of the upgrade? And then second, like as you're dropping down, do you use like permission questions like every single drop down?
Yeah, great question. First, how do I position the price? So I position it by basically putting my left hand on the ultimate because it's right there to my left and the homemaker's to my right. I'm standing in the middle. I put my hand on the ultimate and I go, hey, by the way, this is after I've done the toolbox analogy and explained like what all comes in an upgrade. I know you're probably thinking that's a lot of knives. That's going to be really expensive. Well, guess what, Miss Jones? This is $42.80 worth of retail product. And you just let it sit. So I price position it by saying what it retails for with the bigger steak knives, not the little ones. And then I say, just so you know, you're sitting really pretty because you bought this set XYZ years ago. So this set retails today for about $17.94, a lot less than a full complete kit. Well, the reason you're sitting pretty is because now we give you the benefit of what you bought years ago and what it costs today, not what you spent on it years ago. And we deduct that from the retail value of what you're missing. So basically, instead of you spending $42.80, I show them on my calculator or I show them on the app because I have it saved as a bundle. I go, it's $24.89 or $23.89 worth of retail products. $23.89, excuse me. I should know this. It's $23.89 worth of product is what you're missing. That gets you all the steak knives you're missing. I never say 4 steak knives. I say that gets you all the steak knives you're missing because it sounds bigger. That gets you the bigger block. That gets you the 9 pieces that I showed you today and the extra pair of super shears. Now you'll notice, Miss Jones, here on the app, that's $23.89 worth of retail product. And then you look over here where it says customer pays. You still pay $23.89. So just so you know, this is $42.80 worth of product if you wanted to buy a brand new one of these today. We are selling it on sale here at the show for $35.52, but you don't have to do that because you already have this. Now, if you went online tonight or tomorrow and you price checked me, which I'm totally cool with because these are Cutco's online prices, you will find that what you're missing is $23.89 worth of product. And the reason customers wouldn't do the upgrade is because they had to a la carte and pay for every piece individually. And they were spending out the wazoo just to have a full set of knives. That's why you should get them here at the show. Because if you buy them here at the show, I can actually bundle this as a package and Cutco will process it. You see this green thumb? I am taught to sell in the green thumb. Green means go. It means good deal for you. It means good deal for Chelsea. Well, Miss Jones, you got $23.89 worth of stuff in the cart here, and it says customer owes $23.89. See what color the thumb is? It's green. It's a great deal for you because you're getting forever Cutco, but the reality is there's not really a discount usually with upgrades on the website. But if I go up here and I tag it to XYZ event and you show her, I have the computer flipped around. I tag it to XYZ mall or I tag it to XYZ catalog. Use whatever you want. Let the app be your oyster. And you go, I'm going to tag this to Fort Bliss so you get that military discount. And then you go over here to optimize, use your calculator. Cutco says that I can actually take the $23.89 if you do it at this show times point XYZ, blah, 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 plus an extra 5%, blah, 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 blah. I can actually sell you that upgrade for this much right here. Now I'm gonna go over here to this optimizer, type in 1929, and you're gonna get a bunch of the knives out of this package for free. And then we divide that by 5 and blah, 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 and you close it with the 5 payments, right? So I prep them that it's $42.80. and then I use the app. I use the heck out of the app. If you bought it yourself, if you went home tonight on cutco.com, you would spend $23.89 plus tax. Don't do that. The reason I'm here is to help you get a better deal on Cutco, because XYZ event, this is an event with Cutco, they allow us to do XYZ sales. And then whatever your sales are on your team, 10%, 15%, 20% off of upgrades. Brian Carter does 20% off on all of his upgrades. So he does 20% off. I don't do that. I do 15% off, and then I'll throw in something for free or whatever. I like to leave myself some wiggle room on upgrades, because in the price position question you asked, and here's why I do 15%. If you go on cutco.com, a homemaker, $17.94 down to $1,500, it's 15% off package discount. And ultimate by Cutco standards is a 15% off package discount. All of our sets have a 15% off package discount. So if you order at this event, Miss Jones, Cutco doesn't penalize you for buying the upgrade now. They're going to go ahead and give you the package discount, the same one that they gave you years ago when you bought your homemaker. So you give them 15% off, use Order Optimizer so you get the highest CPO, and that gives you enough wiggle room to throw in a gadget or two for free, or some extra cutting boards, or an extra knife, and then you could always take the scissors off. If you want to offer a deal and they want the price to go down, you say, hey, do you need the second pair of scissors? Well, here's what I could do for you. You're not giving them a discount. You're just removing one item from the 15 items in the cart. Does all this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
The other one was permission questions while dropping down. Do you ask a permission question every time?
Yeah, I just maybe phrase it in a different way. And just be honest with yourself. If you had it, would you use it? If you really wanted to, could you squeeze this in the budget? And then if they work through all those objections and they still don't buy that option, and we're looking at a different option that's smaller, I don't repeat the same questions. I just go, hey, just curious, do you like this package better? Does this package feel a little bit better towards the budget? Does it seem like these are more the pieces that you'd start with if you ever did add to the collection? So they're all yes or no tie down questions, but I'll phrase them in a different way. So it's not me just repeating myself like a broken record.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Kevin Marr, go for it.
I was
What's up,
wondering
Kev?
how you doing?
Something that's from something. What's up, Kev? I don't know what it's from, but anyway.
Me neither. Well, yeah, I was wondering, when you're saying like, when you're doing the upgrade and you're saying like, yeah, we can just go ahead and collect your payment now, and then I won't charge you till later. Are you just filling out an order form, like a paper order form, and then calling them later?
No, I'm using the app. Oh, I use order forms nowadays. So I just sold 45,000 at Bliss, and I used one order form for a 4-pack of catalog table knives because I was busy selling a cookware set to somebody else, and I couldn't dive in with this lady, but she walked up and knew what she wanted. So I handed her a clipboard and an order form because I didn't want to lose her business. And I said, okay, you know what you want? Well, it's this much, blah, blah, blah. You want to go ahead and do that? She goes, yeah. And I said, well, cool, fill this out. That's the only reason I use order forms now. I use the app like 98% of the time. Or if I have a team member that I'm writing up an ROR order for, I'll use an order form. I save the order with all the upgrade pieces in the cart, with their information, billing and shipping, with their credit card number. So I save their payment info, and I go, hey, by the way, I know you're going to send me that picture later, so I'm not going to click submit right now. We're just going to save this as pending with your payment info pending, and I'll call you later. We'll make sure we have all the right pieces in the cart before I charge you a dime.
Okay, I didn't know you could save credit card info on there.
Oh yeah, on the app.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
I thought the credit card info, they deleted it. If you like refresh or leave the app or anything like that, even if you save it.
Nope. Say I have probably 17 saved as pending orders right now. Not with, some of those are not with credit card numbers, but I've got 3 post-dated orders with credit card numbers in there. You just can't let them time out. They time out after 12 days. So what you do is you put the credit card number in, click save. Because you put the credit card number in, I promise you it saves.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Learn something new every day.
Well, so what happens is it saves, but it blocks out 6 of the middle numbers
Makes sense.
for compliance. So you can't see the full 16-digit number anymore. You can only see 10 digits out of the 16, but you can still see the expiration date. But if you put the card in, holding their card right then and there, you send them home and it's on good faith. Yeah. I can't name a single upgrade that I've lost because I sent them home going, yeah, just send me the picture when you get home. What's a good time for me to follow up? And then they just say, yeah, we'll probably home by 7:30. I said, okay, send me the photo around 7:30, lay all your knives out on the counter. Let's make sure we have an exact inventory of what you have. And if you have more than what we thought you have, your price is going to go down. And they're like, hell yeah. And I'm like, if you have less than what we thought you have, we'll add those pieces you're missing, but you'll still get the discount on them. And then they just feel so safe because you just promote it as this is what everybody does. This is normal. You're not doing something that's out of the norm. It's normal for people to want to go home and check their inventory. Now, the only reason I do that is if I get that objection. You're not just doing that every time, Kevin.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think that was all I had.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well,
Awesome. Vern, go for it. And this will be the last question.
hey, Vernon.
How you doing, Chels? Don't know if you saw in the chat, but I had your famous quote, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. So
Yeah, that's me. Okay.
So I'm just curious, like I do use the brochure. I was just curious if you're going to show the pieces anyway, or if you're going to show a video anyway, I guess what is the point of using the brochure?
Yeah, some people use that quick video. I think Brian Carter or somebody made it, Josh Mueller years ago with like the 7 or 8 knives in it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like I'll show the Brian Carter video and then I'll use the Jason Jeffrey raw meat knife video and just fast forward to where he does the comparison.
Yeah, I think the videos are great. And that's really great if you have a no knife display. So if you don't have knives out, the videos are incredible. We use that at the Houston Stock Show and Rodeo. I have not used the video for at least 2 or 3 years. I've gotten away from it because I just like the handheld interaction of them feeling the weight of it, touching, feeling, seeing, holding, mimicking, chopping. I just like that better. That's for me. I know a lot of people that sell a lot of Ulti upgrades using the video and no brochure. So really the answer to your question, for me, Vernon, would be there is no right or wrong in either of those, as long as you're accomplishing the names and uses of what comes in it and just explaining why it's a package and why they need them. The key is just making sure they see a problem with having only one chef's knife, a problem with having only the baby Perry knife because it's too small and it gets dull really fast, the problem with having only a trimmer, and the perk and solution of having the rest of them. If you're accomplishing that with a brochure or with a video, I think you're golden. I just like the trifold because it's black and white and it looks official. Like it's so official. It's like the upgrade program. It's an actual program that Cutco has printed a brochure that they back.
Gotcha. So it's just more of like credibility, like this is a real thing. It's not just something I'm making up here on the spot.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have the trifold at your station. You could still do the video. Don't stop doing that. Do that instead of having live pieces, in front of you. And then you just open up the brochure after showing them the pieces and go, hey, by the way, this is what it looks like. You get the block, you get all those pieces that I just showed you in the video. You get 4 more of the steak knives and an extra pair of the scissors, because who doesn't want an extra pair of scissors?
Got it. Okay. Because I do both, where I have the pieces out and I show the video. Just something I've been trying. I just didn't know if you're doing all that, if the brochure was just redundant.
Nothing wrong with that. I love the video. I think the video is great, but I am such a relational sell. You have to realize what kind of salesperson you are. I am big on relationships. Like my people just know me. It's hard to get people at the State Fair of Texas to sell for me because they're like, no, we'll go find Chelsea. I'm like, y'all can buy from them. They give me the orders. I promise. Like, just go see Nick. Go see Nick. Just go see him. I'm off today. Don't not buy because I'm not there. I've kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit just because of how much I'm relational selling, but that's how I pitch upgrades. I like to be the professional that tells them what each knife is for because I know. And they
Got it.
built a lot of trust and confidence, obviously, in me, telling them, hey, this is what this is for. So I've gotten away from the video for that reason, but that's what works for me. That doesn't have to work for you. I'm sure what you're doing is great. I still think you should supplement with a brochure, though.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Appreciate all your time today. We are out of time for questions. We got a few other things we got to cover today, but appreciate you being on, Chelsea. I know we've been wanting to hear you talk about upgrades for a while, so appreciate you hooking up our team with the goods. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see you at Net.
I will be very big at Net.
Are you gonna? Are you making it to Net?
Yeah, that'll be my last travel trip. We're going to come to Net meeting and then we're going to go, well, Roger's going to go snowboarding. I'm going to eat and drink hot chocolate for a week. So,
Awesome.
Let us know if you need a bunch of tea again.
my God, that was so bad last year. Hopefully not. When you're pregnant, your immune system is like next level. So
Yeah.
I should be okay. All right, guys. Hey, thank y'all for having me. This really fills my contribution bucket, and it always just gets me jazzed up to give back to you guys. And I mean that. I love it. I love it. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Chels.
Y'all go crush some malls.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Okay, so yeah, that was awesome. Hope you guys got some goods. I know she's definitely one of the best speakers on Ulti upgrades. So that's why she spoke at Net like how many years in a row. So a lot of fire there. So also, just so you guys know, I know the recordings haven't been out for the last couple months here. I'm going to be posting them today or tomorrow. So you guys can go back and listen to everything. So even today's call will be up right away. We've been trying to figure out a new system to get them up, but that's isn't working yet. So I will continue to upload them when I'm able. So but yeah, we'll get everything uploaded here soon. Couple things I wanted to cover today. So first thing, new policies. So obviously we had our policy review meeting. Wanted to share with you guys, everything made it through. So all 5 policies made it through into the policy. Some of them were small, some of them were big, but I just want to make sure we touch on each of those here. So for late fees are the same. The only thing that is different is stats are now in its own category. So the first time you are late, we give you a warning. The second time you are late, we give you a warning. And then the third time, it's $50 every single time. It doesn't go up. It's just $50 flat rate. So if you're late for stats for any reason, it's $50. First couple times we'll give you a warning. Obviously for this year, they're still the same. So if you are late for stats, it's not going to be $50. It's still going to be, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. So make sure you, for this year, you finish strong and get your stats in. But for January, starting in January, it'll be $50 each time. So that's a new policy that Jaquel brought. ROR, something that has changed. This is actually something we didn't even vote on because I already knew it was going to be a new policy. But for ROR, if you write up in ROR order, it does not count as a turn. Okay, so if I'm working and I write up a order for Vernon, I still get to go again. Whether I cut, quote, or card or whatever, it's Vern's customer, I still get to go. Whether I close them or not close them, doesn't matter. So if you are working with somebody else's client that's on their ROR list, you still get to go again. So the importance, so now just so you guys know, the importance of qualifying somebody and figuring out if they work with somebody, it's that much more important because if you don't sell or you sell or whatever, or you got to give the order away, it doesn't matter. You still get to go again. If you don't figure that out until, the next day, well, you lost your turn obviously that day. So it's always good to, be strategic with that. So yeah, so be excited about writing up ROR because you get your turn back. Joining the events team, it's all the same, except we've kind of already, in previous years, we've opened the doors to random people to join our team that didn't reside in the 8 divisions. Now we actually have a structured policy for those people. So anyone can join our team, but the reps DVM has to approve whatever division they're trying to join, that division manager has to approve. I also have to approve it. So they need to get approval from those 3 people. They have to pay the annual association fee, but it's 1.5 times the normal rate. So if you're tier 1, it's $400. For somebody that doesn't live here, it's $600. For tier 2, it's $450. And then for tier 1, it'd be $300. So they have to pay a little bit more. And then they have to work a minimum of 2 events per campaign. We don't have a minimum standard for anyone else that lives in the 8 divisions. If you want to be part-time and work 3 events a year, you can. You're just not on ROR then. But for anyone that joins our team that does not reside in the 8 divisions, they have to do 2 events per campaign, or we give them the boot. So the other thing too is tier 1 reps from those divisions. So we do have quite a few people from North Star joining. They only get to pick in 1 division for the tier 1 call. They don't get to pick in 2. So if they pick, let's say, for example, if it is a North Star rep, we've got somebody from, well, actually Fonz is technically North Star too, but I know Jared Erickson joined the team. So he is picking Southern Wisconsin. So he cannot pick in Southern Wisconsin and another division. It's only Southern Wisconsin because he's from North Star. Tier system is the same. Standards haven't changed. So it's 225, 75K for tier 2. All this is the same. For shift picks, for tier 1 reps, it's changed. Everyone else, it's remaining the same for the most part. So for tier 1, we are going to pick local first. So you only can pick within the 2 divisions that you select. So it's your home division and whatever extra one you pick. Once everyone's done picking on the tier 1 call, we basically start over with only tier 1 reps, and we go back through the calendar and pick anything that's unstaffed. So there is obviously travel restrictions with those unstaffed events. So it's not like we're going to fill in those and tier 2 reps won't have a chance to pick those, but everyone will still have a chance to pick those events if they go unstaffed or there's extra staffing available. Northern Illinois and Chicago are merging. It'll all be under the umbrella of Chicago. So you will see those calendars merge. So that means if you are tier 2 or tier 3, you also get picked within Northern Illinois now. If you are in Chicago or Northern Illinois, if you're in Northern Illinois, you get picked within Chicago. So that's all considered one division now as an events team. They are still separate divisional teams, and we're still doing split tabs on the back end. So for managers, nothing will really change, but for reps that are working, you can pick within those 2 divisions. What else we got to cover here? I think invite onlys are still 50K and up. Service events, great. Traveling hasn't changed. Booth rules, just that 1 turn if you write up an ROR. And then booth supplies. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh yeah, the other thing too is for many of you already know this for tier 1, but if you are a tier 1 rep, you can't just pick a random division to work in. It has to border your home division. So many of you already know that because I've already been asking about that, but asking where you would like it to be. But that is also another rule that has changed, and it's in here somewhere, but I'm not going to find it. Any questions about policies?
Yeah, quick question. So like with that tier 1 picking, you would pick your home division, but let's say there's a tier 1 event that's open. Do I have to wait till the unstaffed call, and then basically people within that division can pick it before like the tier 1 rep can pick it? Does that
Nope.
make sense?
So what we'll do is let's say, for example, we'll use, since I already know Vern's because he only can pick the only second division he can pick is Southern Wisconsin because it's the only one that borders him. So we're gonna use Vern as an example. So so when we go through the shift picks, so Vern, so looking at Vern's schedule, he can only pick within Northwoods and Southern Wisconsin, right? And then every other tier 1 rep, same thing. So Kevin Marr, what'd you pick? Northwoods, right? Yeah, so Kevin can only pick in Northwoods and Southern Wisconsin. Lucky, you pick Chicago, right? So yeah, so Lucky can only pick in Skyway and Chicago, right? Once everyone's done picking within their 2 local divisions, we basically start over. So everyone's back in the pot basically, or pool of names and everything. We start from the top. So whoever's up top, so it'll be, I'm assuming Mike Dowd. So Mike Dowd to go first, and if he wants to pick an event in Utah that only has one Intermountain rep there, he could pick that if he wanted to. Right. And then once we go through, but again, travel restrictions still apply. So like, let's say if there's, let's say there's a Southern Wisconsin event that Vern picks and nobody else wants to work it. Well, then it's still going to go to the Southern Wisconsin call before it's going to go. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. I was trying to understand priority of where that event lands.
Yep. Yeah. So you'll see if it's completely unstaffed. Yeah. Obviously, you'd be able to pick it as a tier 1 rep first before anyone else on the unstaffed phone call, or really anyone in the local division or anything. But if there's a second person there and you don't reside in that division, then you'd have to pick it on the unstaffed phone call. Any other questions about policy?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So with like your second division, you're still treated as an outside rep like before when you are on those calls, right?
Correct.
So like
Yep. It just gives you the opportunity to pick in those divisions. That's it. But yeah, it's still considered. You're still considered an outside rep, with the exception of Northern Illinois. That basically for events.
that's the only.
Yeah, for events, Northern Illinois is basically. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it's just it actually doesn't really matter for picks. If you're Northern Illinois or Chicago, that's all Chicago now. So it's like, for example, Josh, Jamie, if you're still here. Yep, Jamie, I see you. So yeah, you guys are considered basically part of the Chicago team, even though you're Northern Illinois reps. So, yeah, you can pick between either division. Doesn't matter. It's all considered Chicago. It's all under the umbrella of Chicago.
And then one more quick question.
Yeah.
So in that example, if the tier 1 event goes to Southern Wisconsin, tier 2 and tier 3 reps can pick that tier 1 event if no other tier 1 reps in Southern Wisconsin want it, or does it go to the unstaffed call or tier 1 reps to be picking?
It would be it's the same order. So basically all Southern Wisconsin, anyone that can pick in Southern Wisconsin, they would pick that event first. If nobody wants it, then it would go to the rest of the tier 1 reps, and anyone can pick it, whether it's Faith or Josh or Q, you're going to make it. Lucky, it doesn't matter. Anyone can pick it on that tier 1 call. Then we go to the local calls. So then that event would go to the Southern Wisconsin local call. They'd have the opportunity to pick it. And then it would be the unstaffed phone call. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's like, I'm just trying to understand the travel, but basically tier 2 and tier 3 would get the opportunity before a tier 1 outside rep.
Well, there can still be one outside rep there, right?
Yeah.
So let's say if you pick a tier 1 Southern Wisconsin event, then the only other people that can pick that is Southern Wisconsin until the unstaffed phone call.
Okay, cool. I
Does that
appreciate
make
it.
sense?
Yeah.
Burn, go for it.
Not sure if I missed it, so if I did, I apologize. Is the tier 1 standard staying the same, or is it increasing?
You missed that? What the heck? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's all the same. So it's still 225, 75K, and yeah, everything under 75K is tier 3. So yeah, none of those numbers have changed.
Cool.
So, any other questions? Awesome. So yeah, if you have any other questions about policy, feel free to text me. I'll be available most of the day on and off. So happy to schedule a phone call. Another thing. Do you have another question?
For me, no.
Okay.
So
You just lit up, that's all. Okay, so next thing. Okay, so I know there's a few of you that applied to be event managers, but just want to make it known that there are many options available. So I don't know if you guys saw the video in the group me. We are now looking for assistant coordinators. The only people that we are considering are event managers. So right now, the only assistant coordinator right now is my wife. She is the administrative coordinator. So if you don't know this already, most of you probably already know this, but she does all the recaps, split tabs, updates the statuses of some of the events on her schedule. She does a lot. So She's really the only assistant coordinator currently. Anyone else that wants to apply, you got to be an event manager first. And there's a lot of opportunity available to be an event manager. So positions that we're looking for right now, obviously we've got Lucky in the recruitment manager position, and we've got Caden in the research and development manager position. Other positions that we're looking for are service event manager, mall display manager, recaps manager, or something, or something to help my wife, because she's now doing anywhere from 10 to 30 recaps a week with all the divisions that we are helping run for events. So we will eventually want to delegate that, and then display kit manager as well. So if any of these things, if you feel called to help the team, obviously get your 3 event manager picks, and it gives you the opportunity to be an assistant coordinator eventually. We also do have weekly calls. I know we haven't been good about them, Lucky, but we are going to be, January, starting after the holidays, we're going to be picking up and running those weekly again. And then, there's a lot of cool things. We do the event manager dinner as well. Lucky and I went and ate some 40-ounce prime ribs the other week, and it's not on the team account, it's on my dime, so I literally pay for everything. So it was a good time. And oh yeah, look at that, there's the certificate. You get put on a wall. It's pretty awesome. But
40-ounce, baby.
Yep. Yeah. Big 40-ounce steaks. Yeah. So, if you want to be an event manager, if you feel called to, definitely apply. I know there's a few of you that have already applied. We are planning to do interviews sometime around the holidays or after the 1st. So, and we probably will start hiring right away in January, and get you added to those calls. So thanks for your patience for those that did apply. We've just been dealing with a lot, and managers have too. So any questions about the structure of our team or anything else?
I do have a quick question. So with any of those positions, I'm assuming they would be in charge of the entire team, right? So basically the entire central region.
Yep. Yeah. So all the 8 divisions, there are 2 divisions that we are not running in central. So it's not the whole region, but the 8 divisions that are part of our team. Yeah. So the 8 divisions that are part of our team. Yeah. You'd be in charge of that for that. And then you would basically, you work directly with me, obviously, and we help you build a program and a system to help manage it better than what it's currently being managed. Just because, I'm one guy here. There's, I think, 80 of you. So it's, that's why we need help. So
do you have descriptions of each position?
We don't. Typically what we do is we have a general idea on what we want that position to do. And then the person that gets put in that role, they help build that position out. And then we kind of slowly figure out what we need that position to be within the first couple months. So
cool. Thanks.
Yep. The other thing too, if you apply, just so you guys know this, Lucky knows this and Caden knows this because they've obviously have been event managers for a while. If you get brought on as an event manager in January, we're not going to give you 3 picks right away on the February phone call. You got to earn it first. So, but I would anticipate on the campaign 3 call, you get your picks at that point. So, so just know that you aren't going to be paid out instantly just because you volunteered to sign up. We got to make sure you guys work in the position first, and it makes sense for you and the team. And then once that, usually after a few months, we figure out if it's a good fit or not. And that's when we, give you your picks at that point. So yeah, Lucky and Caden both had earned their spot too. So I think it was 6 months. So they might have, I forget how long it was, but that was a while ago. But yeah, just so you guys know that too. Any other questions about team structure, policy, or anything else? Cool. Awesome, Josh. I just saw your message about systemizing YouTube. So yeah, we can chat. The other thing, we are having our best year ever. So that's super exciting. We just passed it. So we're growing by a little bit, but hey, growth is growth. So congrats. We've had our best year ever as an events team. We are just over 3.4 million. I think we can finish over 3.5 for sure. Never know. I think we could get to 3.6, 3.7 if everything goes right. So keep working hard at those malls. I think, Vern, do you know what we're at for Appleton? I know the stats are going to post today. If maybe they have already.
Yeah, actually I had them pulled up. Fox River is at 63 total. I think we're either a top 3 or a top 5 in the country.
Okay, cool. So we got another 90K to go. So that's like basically we've got 3.5 in the bag. So 3.6 definitely doable with all the other 4 malls. So yeah, so keep working hard at those malls. If you guys need any help with malls, if you're struggling with anything, definitely reach out in the group me, reach out to a coworker. You can reach out to me. I'm happy to walk you through objection handlers or anything like that. But yeah, keep working hard at those malls and don't get discouraged if you haven't had the best mall season so far. We're just getting to the good days now. Like the first half is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go insane being here. And then the second half was when all the money comes. So just kind of remember that. So, you look at Fox River, it's like, oh, we're at 60K. We got a long way to go. Not really, because all the good days are coming, right? So just keep working hard and numbers will get there. Another reminder, if you haven't already, the DocuSigns for next year to be on the events team have gone out. Make sure you jump in your email and sign that. I think mine is it says it's for Division 51, which is Northern Illinois. They didn't figure out a way to just have everyone sign 8 of them or whatever. So for people that are on IMD, if you did get one for Intermountain, you actually probably don't need to sign it. If you signed it already, it's fine. Faith's not going to be coordinating anyway, but yeah, you should be good to go if you sign the 51 document. So if you haven't signed the DocuSign, jump in your email and do that. Do that literally right after this call if you haven't signed already. So if you got the DocuSign and you didn't sign it, sign it. It's in your email. Division 51. Sign the DocuSign. Super easy. And then just so you guys know too, goal for next year is $5 million as an events team. I'm completely confident that we can get there, especially with the addition of Intermountain. With Intermountain joining the team, I think, Q, are you guys over $1 million yet for the year or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, with the addition it gets us pretty close. I think they're around like 750, 800,000. So it's still a massive amount of growth though, to grow by $500,000. So I do think we could sell more than 5, but 5's the goal. So if we get to 5 sooner than later, then we can push the goal up a little bit, but that is the goal for 2024. That is our meeting for today. Anyone have any questions before we jump off here?
I just want to say grateful for all you guys, grateful for this year. I just want to express my gratitude to everyone on this team. I know a lot of people are not on this video, on Zoom. So everyone that's not on the Zoom, everyone that's on the Zoom, grateful for you guys. Really appreciate this year, really reflect on this year when this year ends and really end strong as well too. And look forward to having that springboard for 2024. So I just want to express my gratitude for all you guys and everyone on the team as well. Grateful for you, all you guys. Finished the year strong. We have a week and a half left. So make it your best year yet. And a lot of crazy things can happen. So you're closer than you think. So I just want to say that.
Awesome.
Hey, Nick, I think it'd be really cool if you came up with a theme for us for 2024. 24 is also the number of Kobe, so that's kind of cool. So something to get us all tied in together would be kind of sweet.
Yeah, I know for me, I was thinking about this the other day, and for me, my personal one is I was listening. Well, I listen to a lot of EDM. There's this playlist called Creamy on Spotify. It's fire if you listen to EDM or like music like that. But it's not like outrageous, like crazy, like gotta work out to this music. But it's solid. It's a solid playlist. But there's this song. It's called "Woke the Giant," and I'm like, that's what 2024 is. Woke the Giant. That's hitting 5 million. Personally in sales, as long as I keep selling 400, I'm fine. I'm actually lowering the amount of days that I'm working next year by a little bit again. So as a sales rep, but as a coordinator, really the goal is 5 million. And so that is my theme personally for 2024. But yeah, I think it's definitely great if we come up with a team theme as well. So yeah.
Sweet.
But yeah, appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, yeah, Another thing too, just so y'all know, we're gonna have some new incentives for next year too. So I'm assuming you're all anticipating something to come out, but yeah, there will be some incentives for next year. Definitely go to Year and Banquet, like Q had just put in the chat, and also
Net.
win the Mexico trip.
Yes. Cabo, yeah, net.
Yeah, just a
All
lot
the
of
things.
we're all gonna be hanging out. And get that cookie club. You only got to sell 108 grand. That was number 10 this year. So
Then
get selling.
Spain, after all those three, Spain.
Oh yeah, in Madrid too. Yeah, there's a lot of we're gonna be hanging out a lot. So.
All the things.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you guys. I'll be here as long as you need me to. Lucky, stay on and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.